So why would a good God condemn someone to hell? Man, that's a good question. And I hear this pretty often, and I hear your heart in asking this particular question. Now, here's the thing about it. People love to talk about God's goodness as if it's the only attribute that he has, but it's not the only attribute. God is love. All right. So he is loving by his intrinsic nature, but he is also holy by his intrinsic nature. That means he is incapable of error. That means he is incapable of sin and incapable of sinning against us. It means that he is other, that there is nothing that compares to him, that inherently, intrinsically, he is good. So God is all good. He is also all holy. But guess what God is also? He is also just. And God being a just God means that there must be a punishment for sin. Now, this is the thing that I love about Christianity. Just because God must punish sin in his holiness and in his justice doesn't mean that he has to punish our sin. His lovingness, his love attribute of love came and took upon himself the sin and the punishment that we deserve. And in his love, he traded our sin for his holiness. So he takes our sin upon himself and says, hey, you don't have to any longer suffer the consequences for the sins that you committed, even though you should suffer those consequences. And I would be just in giving you the just consequences for that sin. So instead, to show you how loving I am, I'm going to take upon myself the punishment for those sins so that you don't have to. And guess what? The only thing that you have to do in order to receive the full benefit of my love, my goodness, my mercy, my grace is to believe that I am who I am and that I have done this. That is a deal for me. I don't know about anybody else. That's why I'm a Christian, is because I realize that I have done some wrong things in this life. And I am not just the recipient of God's grace. Let me tell you the difference between grace and mercy. Grace is when God gives you something that you don't deserve. But mercy is when God doesn't give you something that you do deserve. So I'm not just walking in God's grace, and neither are you. Those of us who have accepted Jesus Christ's sacrifice on the cross are recipients of God's mercy, and that there is punishment out there that we absolutely deserve because we're guilty. We absolutely have done some of the things that we are guilty for. But there's this beautiful word in the Bible called justification. Justification is a word that describes our legal standing and position before God. It doesn't mean that we are not guilty of the sin that we are accused of committing. It simply means that God does not hold that guilt to our charge. So the devil can lie to us, but he can't lie to God. So when he goes to God, he's telling the truth about the sin that we've committed. But God still looks at him and says, it doesn't matter, because even though he's guilty, my son has already paid the penalty for that crime. And that is the beauty of the gospel.